time they won one of them. So like, they won that series. They won that series.
Lion doesn't win enough.
How many Dragon Souls have you been?
I think it's 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
I think C9 wins too fast.
I think it's either 100 Thieves or Dig.
People have been shifting their votes to 100 Thieves, as you can already see. So it's going towards 100
C9's
Thieves
got it.
now.
Kobe, what do you think? ABC.
Wait, I don't think it's C9 because I think they finished their games too quick.
Okay, Kobe, let's see what the answer is.
I'm gonna go with Dig.
What's the answer?
It's Lion.
Whoa, we were all wrong.
Only three is the most?
Three. I mean,
I feel like we don't have a lot of souls.
Well, maybe it was the first 3 games. There are 3 wins.
I'm surprised at how many people are saying C9. They finished their games way too. They finished their games quickly.
Dig has played more League of Legends than any of these guys, and they haven't been able to get that many.
Yes, you're not getting the soul.
It's Shopify that are winning that. They won that series.
One series?
I know, but that they're long as hell.
I sided with Raz and I lost, so I'm never doing it again.
I think we might have more. I think we're going really slow. Name the 3 champions that have 100% pick their friends in LTA North split 2, including
Varus. It's definitely Varus is one.
I mean, Calista?
Varus, it's Varus, Vi, and then something.
Probably Nefiri. Nefiri's close.
It's definitely Varus, Vi, and...
Presence.
Yeah, we have 2 of 3.
Yeah, it's Varus, Vi. I'm not sure.
What's the third?
Hey,
It's not
hey, we just
Calista.
chilling
She
out.
fell through. She fell through yesterday.
Watched some LTA.
Spirit Blossom.
Luckily for me,
That is the hint. That's a lot of hints.
I'm old and I just got off work, so
Okay.
I missed all. I only saw the last game, so I can go back and watch it now and stream it and not be co-streaming. I'm just reacting to the wild shit. So if you hear, we in here. We're, it's whatever. I'm a mute. I gotta go use the bathroom. I'm gonna be probably making my intro video for Ape Fest tomorrow. Ape Fest is gonna be great. We're gonna be playing. I'll probably get my ass whooped or something and get mad and get tilted. I won't, but whatever. So let me. I'm gonna mute my mic. We watching this, and
I'm gonna go something
I'm trying to move myself somewhere out the way when I come back.
Okay, I'm going to... What do you say?
I was gonna go 60.
Okay, I'll go... What do you say?
27.
28. Let's see.
What is it?
84.
Whoa!
No one got that.
I
Congratulations.
won by default.
Emily wins. Yeah, because that was the C9 split where they started. We thought they were going to go undefeated, so he probably just didn't die until that first loss.
Our committee said 76, so you're the closest one in the chat.
Whoa.
That was close.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Congrats, Chatter.
All right, let's check out the schedule for today. We got 2 matchups ready to go. Cloud9 is part of the second one. They're playing against Lion. And first up is going to be 100 Thieves versus Dignitas.
Ooh. Yeah, I think it's on paper obviously 2 fairly one-sided matchups, but yesterday was actually a lot closer than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
So I do feel like 100 Thieves Dig, maybe there's some room for Dig to actually get in there. Certainly played a lot better last week, and they are kind of coming off of a win, so maybe they can actually springboard that into a more competitive series here against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, especially if you're solely focused on one series, which is obviously much different than the what we saw from the best of ones. Like them recognizing they're going up against 100 Thieves, also the improvement that we've seen throughout the split. It's going to be competitive. I know it's competitive, but yeah, it is.
I'm excited for it. Kobe is going to be standing by with River for an interview to get his thoughts ahead of the series.
Hey, I'm here with River pre-game. Now, we actually talked to you last week after you guys won, and you were like, oh, our scrims are so chaotic. We need to focus up. Everyone's just going for kills. How were the scrims this week?
To be honest, our scrim's going really well this week. So I have confidence today.
How did your boy Sniper do? He's smiling ear to ear over here.
A sniper smurfed this week in scrims. He solo killed like everyone. So yeah, we're gonna win today.
All right, Surdy, watch out. Dignitas, now, they are now known for just having the longest games in the entire league. They set the record for the top 3, actually. Is there anything going against this team that you want to target specifically, or you think you should play fast or play slow?
I feel like we played a bit boring game last week, but this week gonna fast game for us. Yeah.
All right, there you have it. We're in store for an exciting game. Take it away, Lounge.
Wait.
I can't tell. I can't.
Oh, Sorry, just real niggas. We work. I work for a living, blood. I work for a living because nobody will watch my stream. So, we watching this. I'm enjoying this. So I just got off work, and the whole premise, because I watch this shit all the time. So but I'm gonna be commenting. We gonna do this, Cause I remember I saw, always said, I'm not when I was doing them types of things, I used to say, I'm not a drug dealer, I'm a hustler. I just hustle. And then sometime point after I got the joint, it just broke me or something. I just stopped hustling like that. Then I was just working. I forgot how to hustle. I need to hustle, but I'm trying to get back to my old self. And so, I think about when I was watching Dame Dash on the Breakfast Club. Sorry, but I'm just saying, he's nuts now. I mean, he was nuts now. I don't know what's going on with him. That's not my thing. I'm just saying what he said was real though. And he was like, if I was a drug dealer, he was like, I would sell weed because I could grow it, and you don't gotta pay nobody. If you got dope to sell, if you got access to the dope, then you can sell it. You get free dope, why wouldn't you sell free dope? I got the dope. This is crack, baby. This shit is crack. Sorry for the shit is crack stuff. Not, because this is like an early one. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm trying to get right to holla at a bruh. Holla. Well, anyway, so I'm watching some LCS. LTA Norte, and I might chime in. We hanging out though. This is Ape Fest, baby. I'm trying to make a pizza and shit, nigga. This is the Precursor, and then if this is all right, then tomorrow we gonna over the place, blood. What you talking about? I'm just saying, holler, if you hear me. Holler, if you hear me. Okay, all right. You hear me in the back? Okay, let's do this. So we watching LTA.
Can't tell whether he's trolling or not.
Yeah, I asked Quinn as he walked through, and he said, we had insane spread.
We'll watch a little bit of this. We'll see if I have to skip through this.
He's like, I'm not lying.
They're all in on it. They're all in on it.
Really like, good at script.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
That's insane.
They're all in on it.
Oh my God. I mean, we should probably talk about it because it's the point of discussion for the team. Like, 100 Thieves, if we look through their 20-minute, throws in general.
That's just recent.
Yeah.
Just recent versus FlyQuest, versus Dignitas, versus
I'll be
Liquid.
Muting the photo every now and then when I'm having a sip of tea. Tell you what,
Well, wait, swap this out.
But if you look at it like this, the goal graph starts looking really good.
Wait, wow.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome. Wait, turn it the other way so I can hot swap it.
Okay, so hot spot.
Yeah, so basically this is against the two top teams, right? Where they threw around like basically Otacon.
Okay.
This was them against
Graphic swap.
Dig, where they actually were in a goal deficit.
Yes.
And then, if people remember, the last time they met Dig actually had a pretty strong early game against 100 Thieves. And then they ended up winning through
That's
team
the
fighting.
opposite of a worrying trend.
It is. I mean, a lot of times.
What would you call
I mean,
times-
maybe they still
What would
want,
you call
like,
it, Jack?
they want all of it to be above.
What is the opposite of a worrying trend?
a positive trend.
Positive
An uplifting trend.
Yeah.
Maybe something more catchy.
Oh,
Yeah.
here is this Otacon throw.
I oughta can't believe they've done this.
And River played this one so well. Of course, like, being able to find the, specifically Shaden, who was like really low in HP. I know that Dignitas talked about this in particular, like why did we start Otacon? It's just shredding our MR and 8 armor the entire time.
Shaden almost died to the Otacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was at what, 20% maybe?
He started that one really healthy too.
I feel like teams say, like, they always know it, and then they do it anyway. And
Yeah.
then afterwards, when they lose the fight, they're like,
Dragon
yeah,
was
that's
right there
shred.
too, by the way. Dragon was, they literally came out of that being like, Dragon is literally right there. We could have just done that instead, but like we fell for the
Yeah.
same bait. So.
I mean, I thought River was fantastic in those team fights, and I feel like he's been kind of a shining, I don't know, light, yeah, for the team, even when they have been struggling.
Beacon of hope.
But there was one.
Real quick, I just want to say this. I just want to say this as a precursor to this. What we gonna be doing, but I like to watch LTA. I used to really like to watch LCS, but now like my team C9, they just like, I don't know what they're doing. For years I'm like, why or what's going on? Like JoJo and then that I was like, oh, we got JoJo, and then it was like now nigga, now Blood, nigga, take the nigga back, pardon me. Now Blood overplaying and for Koi and shit wild. I'm just saying. So, shit. I find myself not being as vested as I used to be, and it's disheartening to me. I don't know. I like to watch LPL and shit. This is crazy. Whatever. We watching the game, baby. You shut up. You didn't come here for that.
Was also with
you came here for positivity.
It's been such a huge discussion point with people ragging on 100 Thieves for their scrims. And this was last week, and the only reason I thought it was interesting is because a lot of people had constantly been asking 100 Thieves, oh, okay, does it help that you guys really overextend in scrims and then you can reel it back on stage? Is that why you're so good? And he said last week was the first week that they felt like on stage it was rough as well. So it was also cool to compare this to that interview he just did.
Yeah. And
where they did seem, in good vibes, right? And then this was Quid on 100 Thieves scrims, I believe the week before on Pros, not last week.
This was the one I did with him, and I was basically asking him, because people were always telling me that all they do is fight in scrims, but yet on stage they're really given a lot of credit for how good they are at fighting. And I was saying, does that actually add to it? Like the fact that you're always fighting, does that make you better on stage? And he's basically like, nope,
Yeah, and I think it's, to me, really interesting with this team, because I was listening to Raz on Pros talking to Isles, and Isles was saying that they're one of the most solo queue team. And I think there's some truth to that, where they are very good team fighters.
Yeah.
And sometimes the lack of traditional structure can help them, because they're winning fights and picking angles that other teams wouldn't necessarily be expecting, because it's just not what they're used to in
Shut up,
games.
Jack.
But then when they're against the really
My
organized
fault. I'm
teams
sorry.
that have
I
really
like
good
Jack.
structure, like the
I
FlyQuest
like
and Team
Jack.
Liquid,
I'm
they're not able to fight their way out of that as consistently as you want. But against a lot of
This
bottom
is
teams,
me
they're able to do
being
that.
a
So
cult.
I think it's a
I'm
tricky transition for them, because I think
didn't mean to be a
their
cult.
strength is their weakness in that sense, where they're really good at taking fights. So I don't necessarily know how they get to the next level.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of, and I know Raz will know this too, a lot of what people used to say about LPL scrims, right? Where they're like, oh man, LPL teams, they just absolutely run it.
I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling Blood's hair. I don't like his hair. I don't like that little cliff joint or that little, like, you know what I mean? That fake Johnny Bravo. He got like a baby Bravo. I don't know what you would call that. Emily. Let me shut up. I'm watching the video. Not. I will not be speaking to my boo anymore in this video. Emily.
It down, but then when it came to a lot of teams facing them, this is not more recently, but like back before they kind of had a stronger scrim culture, people would be like, but then on stage, they're just so good at team fighting. They're going to out team fight us, even if they have like quote unquote worse macro. I think there are definitely things you can tweak, especially with like setups specifically, that can still aid like really strong team fighting without hurting it. So finding that balance, like hearing all of these discussions from 100 Thieves players has been really, really interesting as they're kind of going through this journey.
Yeah, and we got to hear from Surdy on this one, speaking to Kobe. So let's take a look at that.
All right, now we're here with Surdy. I got to ask you first about last week. Longest games in LTA history. Were you guys excited or like relieved? What was the emotion that you were feeling during that game and when you won?
I think after game 2, I was just relieved. But after game 3, I was like pretty happy. Not because we played like especially well, but because it's like nice to get your first like real best of 3 win on stage. Like I don't really consider the DSG one like a real series, you know? So beating Shopify, it's like, it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, where do you guys see yourselves going from there now? Because, I mean, 100 Thieves, people assume are going to be second in the group. Can you take second place here?
I mean, if we win this game, we get second in the
What
group,
are you
right?
talking about, man?
Playoffs.
If you don't shut the...
So it would be nice to win. I think in our last series versus them, they were like completely
Hey,
gapped
he's
everywhere.
tripping, man.
And then
You're tripping.
Some like unfortunate things happened. I TP'd to a terrible spot 3 times and lost again. But as long as they don't do that today, and we play how we did the last time we versed them, I don't think we'll lose.
I mean, technically, you could still shoot for FlyQuest too, and shoot even higher. But yeah, your lane opponent, Sniper, is the second newest top laner into the league, behind you, of course. How do you feel about him individually? He is known for solo killing a lot of people. Is that a worry at all?
I don't think solo kills really matter that much anymore. Like in the version of League that...
See? He's stupid. That's what I'm talking about. He's stupid. I didn't mean that. He's better than you. I know he's better. Listen, this all I'm... Listen, man. I used to like Dig. Like, you know, like it was like my baby team, or I used to like him. That's all I'm saying, man. Though that's what I'm saying. The Dig jerseys. It's like the Vayne. That's like Bane. It's like the poison tanks on Bane. You put that on, it just pumps bullshit in your brain. I remember like Licorice was my guy in top lane. He was dope. I remember when Licorice stole the Baron with the auto attack? I do. And then he went to Dig. He got stuck. Somebody, they shumped him up. Like, hold up, Licorice. I'm going to need you to look that way. What's that on the floor? Dig, they do that to you. What? Gents, come on, man. Remember when Jensen went to Dig? Oh! Hold on, man. Let me just turn over. Hold on. Let me get this thing up here for you so you can do something to it. Let me get... You know what I mean? I was like, what is he... I was like, oh, man, Dig is ready to do something. And I was like, what in Jesus' name? Jesus, help us. So, I mean, I'm saying, man, what do you talk about? What does dude talk about? Who is this? This is it. I don't even see what I'm saying, man. I don't even fuck with the LTA anymore, man. Ask me who the top laner for EDG or something like that. You know what I mean? Ask me who Flandre plays for. Don't ask me nothing about that. I know like Sniper plays for 100 Thieves, and I know that Fudge is. I mean, whatever. You know, Shopify. But I know C9's roster or something. Who's the mid? Loki. You know what I mean? I stand a 10 and then stand a 10 and better than can and better this. I know that. Blah, 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 blah. Crabber. I know about Crabber. We good. Schweinhund. I know about that. I'm glad he's been rehabilitated since playing for TSM back in the day. Because you're a bot. He was a bot on there. Everybody's a bot on there. Reggie. Reggie. Okay, but nobody wants to hear that. Let's hear what little blood got. Let's hear what little bro was talking about, and I will shut up. Muted mic.
That we have today, solo kills don't really make or break the game. It's more like how you manage your waves around objectives and what the team wants to do and everything. And I think that he kind of loses himself after 10 minutes. So as long as nothing.
Real quick, one more thing. You see what I'm saying? This is where you come to learn. If you like League, purportedly. But I'm just saying that's my new thing I've learned, and I'm on as a jungler, especially because junglers are more aware of macro than regular players, laners and whatnot, is like tempo. So what he's saying is partially true, but he's not saying it right. You can die, but like you can't die when you'll be dead when Dragon's gonna be up. It doesn't matter if you die, but it matters if you die and you can't fight. Your team can't fight for Dragon because you're dead. That's when it matters. Or when a lane is crashing top because you're dead. That's when it matters. You can die. It matters. It doesn't matter that you die. It matters when you die. You smell me, baby. Learn something. It's about tempo. Here, learn something from a dumb channel. From me. Anybody can watch. My idol, and learn. But to watch a channel where nobody knows anything like me.
Too insane happens before that point, and the game is stable. I think it's going to be.
Now
really
you've done something.
All right, keep the game stable then.
But don't
back to the lounge.
Nice.
I think on the point of Surdy as well, he has been struggling for the most part, but had a really good week last week.
Yes.
So
see,
to me, he had a
cocksucker.
pretty promising interview afterwards where he's talked about how much he's actually been working and how difficult Tier 1 has actually been for him because everybody in Tier 1 is actually making their life pursuit to be as good as they can at League of Legends, where in Tier 2 it was like, oh, I was the only one doing that. So it's just super easy. Now everyone is on that same level of effort, but I think he found something last week. Part of it, I think, could be in his champion pool. I don't necessarily like seeing him on tanks. I like him on things that can have a lot more agency in team fights, and let's see if he can build off that today against 100 Thieves. Yeah,
it's a great combination of that. Also, they've all kind of referenced their coaches, like, really zeroing in on that playstyle, like them improving and playing.
See? Sorry. Well, I mean, look, what a super pussy. Come on, man. His name is Surdy. You ain't even got a vowel, cuz. You don't have a vowel in your name. Oh, you can't see me. I'm sorry. Well, one second. You don't even got a vowel in your name. Who you talking to? You don't ever say anything to me. You don't have a vowel in your name. Surdy, S-R-T-T-Y. And why do you have two T's? You're not. Are you that good? Let's see. Surdy. You talking wild to me. You don't got no vowels. I mean, you don't got no, yeah, nigga, you don't got no vowels in your name. Constance. And you definitely not Constantine. Blood. Brethren to John Vick. Sucker. I'm sorry. Shh. I got roommates. My roommates are probably asleep, scissoring things or something. I'm a shh, they scissor. Can you hear the scissors? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. That's the negativity in me. But I don't care. Who cares? I'm not scissoring. Nobody. Would someone like to scissor whip me? Would any ladies like to scissor with you, with the wizard of scissor? I'm sorry.
together and getting vision the right way. All these
Why
things.
is his mic on? Who turned his mic on?
But hearing from Isles in pros, like talking about 100 Thieves in particular, how they're a solo queue team. We've all talked about that and how they play really well on stage. But this is the match that they have been really ready for. If you're trying to get 2 playoffs, like. And, obviously you're looking at FlyQuest and saying, like, we have to try our hardest, but that's the hardest matchup. 100 Thieves is a team that everybody has pointed to and said this is the team that is the most believable to beat in the top 4. So I'm really interested to see if there's a specific strategy that they've had in play for this one.
How long are the games going to be?
Oh,
very long.
Yeah. Are they going to be long?
I mean,
what makes you say that?
These are the 2 teams with the highest, or actually, it's not the highest.
Yeah,
but they
is
have
the highest.
pretty.
Dig was second highest, and 100 Thieves is right in the middle.
Yeah, so they have,
game time.
which is I think a little different. I know 100 Thieves combined kills per minute has gone down as well because they used to be like
in split 1 they were the bloodiest
topping
team in the world.
charts. Yeah, well, and the split I think before that too. Last year they were also the bloodiest team in the world. Oh god, Sniper's already mewing.
He's having a photo shoot basically before the series.
All that being said, none of us are taking Dignitas.
But
we're all taking
you 2
100
gave
Thieves.
him a game.
Yeah.
I think that Dignitas is improving, and I think that 100 Thieves is a team that is very wavy, very inconsistent. And, like, I will always remember the start of Split 1 where they were, like, very close series versus DSG. 100 Thieves can have bad games but still win them and screech them out versus, like, the worst teams, but will win at the end. So I still have them winning the series.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get some big-time team fights in this game. I hope Dignitas continues to have a good showing. And ultimately, a lot of this group stage is preparing for the next phase of this because the way the groups will end is the top 2 will play each other for seeding. Even the bottom 2 from each group are going to cross-play. So ultimately, these teams are angling towards improvement.
Yeah.
This is how you enjoy the LCS.
There's only one way to find out.
Who's improving?
Shut up, nigga. This is how you enjoy the LCS, listening to me talk about it. Okay, I'm so sorry, but I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm stupid. One thing, I gotta pause because I might talk too long. One thing I want to say is, let's get on the camera. Where's the camera? Nobody can even see you. You don't even have any teeth. I'm sorry, blood. I'll probably get dressed here in a second. I tried to be fly at work today, and then it rained on me and made me look like a sucker. Now my Batman shit is got wet, so I can't have on a Batman shirt. Not that Batman shirt. But what I was gonna say. Fuck. This is why I'll never make it. Somebody, tag I will dominate for this. Ask him if he agrees with this point. What was I gonna say? Like, no disrespect, cause I couldn't do what Captain Flower does. He's dope. I couldn't do what any of the casters do. My game knowledge is not as dope as theirs. Okay? Now, that being said, I feel like the caster level of the LTA Norte is equal to the gameplay. Like, I watch it. Like, I watch LPL. I watch all the LPL games. Not all of them. I watch a lot of LPL games at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, that's what I do. I'm an old man that works, and I don't get to play. I don't play League on the days I work most of the time. So, I watch a lot of, like, LPL. And sometimes I watch LCK, but I mostly watch LPL. Like, I'll watch LPL games. And I'll still watch some LEC games. Like, I'll watch KC if they're not playing like Rogue or something like that. And then I'll watch the games, and then I'll watch Cadril and Dom. I will dominate, watch the games to hear what they have to say about it. And you know me, but what I'm saying is like, and then I'll watch like LTA. And I'll watch the games. And I don't like to watch them so per se like that, but like up until like this season, and not because of the switches like they did, it's because of the teams and the vibe. I don't feel as vested in it. So the gameplay isn't there. Like, you know what I mean? That's what makes me vested in the LPL, because I like the gameplay. They play good. But they don't play good. They play good. But on a universal level, like a world level, international level, they don't play well, per se. And the casting, like I be watching the casting, and I'll be watching games, and like people be like missing flashes, and nobody says anything, and they don't even say nothing when the replay. I'm like, but he failed flash, and you're not gonna say nothing. He, like, you didn't even, did you see that? Did anybody see that? Am I stupid or something? And then I just came to the realization, like, that I felt like the casting level matches the gameplay level, because, I mean, it just has to be equal. Why would they be that, why would you have to watch like that if they don't play like that? Why would you be accustomed to catching stuff like that if they don't play like that? You don't have to be like, look, did you see him E and then he flashed his W, so that and they don't do that, so that you don't have to, you're not looking for stuff like that, because they don't play like that. So that's what, but I digress. Mute his mic again, and just start to. Alcoholic beverages are being consumed. You just can't say it. Good way for the kids. Hell for the year. So sorry for that.
Hello and welcome to the cast. We have made our way to the caster desk. I am Jat. Azael is just sliding on his headset here for Dignitas versus 100 Thieves. We know that Dignitas picked up the win last week, but 100 Thieves have definitely owned the matchup against a lot of these not top teams, as you would say. So we'll see if they're able to fight their way through to another victory, Azael.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think, especially, I'm really curious to see how 100 Thieves looks after that River interview and after Quad telling us as well that they were owning in scrims. I can't tell if they were actually trolling a little bit or if they weren't, but...
The way that I interpret this, and we'll try and bring in the context as we move into Champion Select, 100 Thieves have been terrible in scrims, and they consistently say they want to be better in scrims. So I think it was probably a message that they had internally all of last week, let's take scrims more seriously, let's succeed more, that probably failed miserably, but they still want to fake it till they make it and just say that scrims are better. That's how I'm interpreting that.
So it's 100 Thieves propaganda.
Yes.
The Thieves are lying to us.
They really are.
Well, maybe they're going to look amazing. If they look amazing, will you believe them, or are you still going to think that's unrelated and they're lying?
Yeah, I think so. Because to me, the correlation of scrims to stage for these guys is almost never there.
Shouldn't be that loud. I hope it's not.
So the way we'll know that they're owning in scrims is if they get absolutely slammed 2-0 today.
Right.
That's how we're going to know.
Yeah, There we go.
Okay.
Then you'll have to go back. In terms of this draft, nothing too shocking early. As has been pointed out by many, the classic 100 Thieves Rumble ban, they generally don't play it or play against it, so that's their first ban. I think we're going to keep that banned all series. And now we are ready for that first pick.
Yep, Rumble, Yone, Jace, Nar, Vi, and Azir are going to be those bans. And we'll see where they want to go. If it is just going to be, Varus and Ezreal getting traded, that feels so incredibly common. We are seeing a lot of first pick Varus these days. I think that's probably going to be the pick, and then I'm kind of expecting it to just be Ezreal +1 over on the other side, and we'll kind of move onwards from there. Varus just feels like, I mean, Ezreal's strong, but Varus feels like it fits in so well to literally every composition. You can go on hit, you can go lethality, you can do different styles. It's really lane dominant, it has great aggressive pairings, it has poke pairings, it has kind of everything.
I think that's one of the things that also makes it such a viable first pick is even though it is Varus,
sorry,
you're
I forgot
flexing.
to
You
remove
actually
out
get to flex between poke
petty
and attack
guys
speed
are.
Varus
There
depending
it
on
is.
what the rest
There
of the
we go.
draft dictates.
Now
So
we
it's
can
just
see how
the
petty
best
the
80
people
carry
that watch
first pick.
this-
And I
this
also
greatness
am quite
are.
happy that we've
Please
moved
subscribe.
into the fearless phase
Don't be a
because
sucker like your
that is
daddy.
why Varus Ezreal was so much of the trade in best of one phase. But now that they've both been locked in, we won't see them again for the rest of the series.
Yep, so Renekton, the answer. I would be excited to see Shen coming out here. I do actually think Shen is pretty strong these days. We did get to see a jungle Shen yesterday. We didn't see a top lane Shen.
Well, I guess
Gwen
we
actually got some pretty
plan
significant
that
nerfs,
doesn't
and the
work.
win rate did go down quite a
sorry,
lot.
I'm
If
not
it is
listening.
Talia getting locked in,
It's
then that
under-
tells me that it
it's
is going to
big,
be
it's
Gwen
big.
top for sure.
What you
I don't
gonna
think that
do?
you're going to do,
Do
the
it
double
to
AP pairing. You want to have some
Probably
sort of
not.
CC, and you generally are going to be looking now for a physical damage jungler. So likely to see a mid lane response here from Kaney, and then just banning out some of the physical damage jungle options here from their opponents. And we'll see exactly where Kaney wants to take us.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the Gwen pick here into the Renekton. Renekton traditionally you think would be one of the counters to other melee champions, but when we go back maybe 3 patches, Gwen was changed to have a different power curve, much stronger early game for a little bit of a late game trade-off, but that was overshot. Gwen started running over early games, then was still insane in team fights, in part because of her ability to just, Gwen is immune, Gwen is immune, Gwen is immune in every fight. But kind of the prediction we had on the lounge was even though Gwen's nerfs were substantial, there's so much Gwen inertia from top laners getting re-familiarized with the kit and teams being familiar with how to play around Gwen, that they're still going to be picking it for a while to see if it's still there. Because yes, the win rate dropped, but it's like 50% in solo queue, and it's still a high skill cap champion. So I don't know if Gwen is dead. Definitely going to be weaker than it was on last patch, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be, dead or anything like that. And, you can always index towards the early game to get through some of these difficult lanes. Grasp plus Inspiration Secondary with Biscuits is just so incredibly strong at actually getting you through any of those difficult laning phases. We are seeing, as expected, some of the physical damage junglers getting banned out. Zinzao going to be taken away. Would not be surprised to see even something like a Pantheon pairing banned out here as well. I think that could work quite well as some setup there for the Talia. And then over on the other side, 100 Thieves are targeting some of the support pairings, banning out some of those engage champs. So Pantheon as expected. Wouldn't be surprised to see like Nautilus or Alistar here as a final ban from 100 Thieves. And then we'll see where Dignitas wants to go, but very likely will be locking in their jungler next. And I think that's why support is getting targeted here, because they're assuming that Isles is going to save 5th pick for counter pick.
For sure. Nefuri's open, and it doesn't pair well for CC with Talia Gwen, but it still pairs as being like an OP champion. So I think that's a good pick for River. I would say Jarvan, but the Ezreal Ahri are both very good against Jarvan, so I don't think that River would take that. And with the Nefuri being up, Dig is just going to take it away. So that's now, look at this, Vi, Xin, Pantheon, Nefuri in terms of 80 junglers off the table before River can lock in.
Yeah, I mean, Talon is an option. I doubt it. I do think you could still go towards Jarvan, like you mentioned earlier. There's always Jarvan. There's Lee Sin. There's still a lot of different options. Viego, I think, works as well.
Sejuani, if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of tank junglers, but Viego makes a lot of sense here. You do want a physical damage threat up on the top side. Varus even has a pretty big splash of magic damage in his kit, so you would be way too, I think, AP heavy. Nautilus makes sense here. Again, more setup there. there for the seismic shove from the Taliyah, and now we're just looking for a support counter pick. Is it going to be something like a Braum, a denial pick, or is it going to be, more of one of those engage picks like a Rel or a Rakan to try to lock it in? I think those are kind of the two options. Do you want to play the more defensive style with the Braum, or do you want to have engage with the Rel or Rakan?
Isles plays a lot of Rel. I feel like Braum might fit better, but the Rel is locked in because they want to be able to be the people pressing the go buttons. When I look at the 100 Thieves side, very little utility, lots of damage in their top side, and then they load their utility in with the Varus Nautilus. So I think it's going to be really important for them that they have a successful bot lane. I think River, if he preferences his ganks and his priority early, should be towards that bot lane, because if they can get them out on the map, then that's going to enable the rest of their team composition to function with the setup from the Nautilus and Varus, and then everybody else bringing the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I also think that in these fights, the first kill is going to be so important for both sides. If resets for Viego, resets for Nefiri, resets for the Ahri, a lot of the damage is going to be that upfront burst. That is going to be flying out, and whoever gets the early kills is going to be that up Viego. I think that in these fights, the first kill is going to be so important for both sides. If resets for Viego, resets for Nefiri, resets for the Ahri, a lot of the damage is going to be that upfront burst. That is going to be flying out, and whoever gets the early kills may be running over those fights incredibly quick. Keep in mind, we heard about it in the interview there with Surdy.
I like their
draft. If Dignitas does win this series, they would be locked into
playoffs.
Look,
he look like top.
They will be making playoffs if they win this series. That
Hey, Blood look like top lane caps. That's crazy.
Would be huge for Dignitas.
Maybe even Jensen.
Look at him. Maybe running over those fights incredibly quick.
No, that's top lane caps. Look at this shit sliding back. Look at this dude sliding back.
If Dignitas does win this series, they would be locked into
top
playoffs.
lane caps.
They will be making playoffs if they win this series. That would be huge for Dignitas. Of course, the bottom two teams are not eliminated, but they have to play for that playoff spot.
Yeah, I really think that with this format, the difference between top two in a group and bottom two in a group is massive. Top two get upper bracket in playoffs, so they then get double elimination. If you're a bottom two, you're essentially immediately put into elimination before you even make the playoffs, because you'll have to cross-play the other group just to make it into the lower bracket of the playoffs. It's one of the biggest differences we've ever had between like second and third in a group.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy because third place, you have to play to even get in playoffs. Then you earn it, and you're already lower bracket. So it is a big deal to be top two in these best of three groups here. Of course, we will be rounding out that best of three group stage next week, and then we will begin the cross-group play the week after to be able to decide exactly where all those seeds will be and what will be happening there for playoffs. Sniper, worth noting, is going to be playing Ignite TP. Not super uncommon, but it does mean you are much more vulnerable to the ganks. Obviously, you still have the skip and slash, but if you ever use that aggressively and Shaden is in a bush, well, you're probably getting ran down. So that is something that they're going to have to watch out for. And FBI also going to be playing lethal tempo.
Yeah, props to River taking the early risk and getting that ward that's going to be at enemy Raptor camp. I know last week against C9 was playing an Ezreal Braum. They waited for someone to go and place that ward in the brush, got the kill. Not quite the amount of lockdown that Dig would have, so River just went out, quickly got the ward. It does spot Shaden, though, and since River is not spotted, this immediately gives River a little bit of the information upper hand.
Yep, so we will see how this game is going to start out. Both junglers expected just kind of be full clearing. We did see a little bit of divergence from that yesterday, obviously with the changes on this patch. There is more of an opportunity, I think, for junglers to get a little bit more aggressive. There are less objectives that you are just kind of drawn towards. And one of the most impressive jungle games we saw was the Umtees in Zhao, where he did find a level 3 gank early and was really able to have a very big effect on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see how this bottom lane plays out as well, with River pathing away from them early, definitely pathing towards his flashless Gwen in the early stages.
He has no cooldowns.
$1,500
has to get his flash for the Ignite. Sniper's going to be happy with that trade because this Ignite's going to come up much faster than the flash.
Yeah, Sniper played that really well. On the previous stun that Surdy went for, Sniper actually buffered his Q, so the snip came out as he was stunned. That is going to not get interrupted, so he got that trade, and then Renekton has these long cooldowns early on, so he comes out of that, he just got a big chunk on him, and he just goes in aggressively with the skip and slash, gets in onto him, and is able to trade that Ignite for the flash. So Surdy now in a bit of a rough spot, but
River's here though for the counter
on the top lane. River is coming in, but can Sniper actually buy the time? Sniper's just going to go aggressive, and they're going to look for Shaden. Gonna have to pop the immunity and run right back to the tower. Sniper was completely unfazed by that gank.
I mean, this is just such a big advantage for Sniper and River because, yes, the top laners met up there and they both did 3 camps to top lane, but look at the camps that were taken. Shaden started topside and had to show topside, so he goes for a recall.
First of all, I'm handsome as hell. Second of all, I'm the best player on the team. Let's just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I like how we run that. I thought it was gonna be like a comms communication during the
I mean, it was relevant. Like, first of all, he is the best looking on the team, so of course we're
May
going to
use
path
the
up towards him
bathroom.
to
May
protect him when he brings
best
Ignite
player,
against the
best
Renekton.
looking, you know, whatever. That is pretty funny. But it is the TP's already being used by both of these top laners, and again, Surdy gets kind of clapped on that trade. He did have a potion with his buy, but has already had to pop that, and now going to be in a bit of a tough spot.
And I really want to see how Sniper continues to evolve as a player because I know he hasn't had as many solo kills as he had in previous years. And he's talked about how his coaches have tried to make him more aware of what's happening on the map as River's thinking about trying to counter jungle these Raptors. So we just got to check on this really quick before we get back to Sniper.
Yeah, River is going to be on the invade here on the Raptors. And it will be a smite fight. We'll see who gets it. Shaden does claim the big one. Not too big of a deal, though. So
for Sniper, originally he got a bunch of solo kills and the team was saying that sorry, I was expecting a different graphic. This one was talking about how he was solo killing everyone, but he doesn't have the same killer instinct that he had before. So I'm feeling like he's stuck in the top of this bell curve that you've seen before, where at first you're thinking, as a solo queue player, just fight them, right? And he's getting these kills because the opponent team is thinking, there's no way this guy fights me. He's weak side. His jungler's not here. So now he's in the middle of like, I need to know where the enemy is, not going for as many solo kills. He needs to evolve to the 150 IQ, 2018 the Shy, where he's just going for the solo kill anyway, despite being aware of all the information.
Yeah, just outplay it. But Isles is here. Q flash, as is Tomo. Sniper likely to get taken down, but he gets the first blood in a 1v3. What a monster. Sniper comes up huge for the team.
Now, did he know the bot lane was swapping up and he's going to trade anyway? I don't know. There's no way of knowing. What we do know is he's back to getting solo kills.
Yep, gets the solo bolo. He is off to a great start in this game, dominating Surdy in that 1v1. The early swap to the top side from Dignitas. That was the flash as well from Isles. He did not use the Ignite. I think they just kind of assumed it was a freebie and maybe didn't commit everything to it. Let's watch this one more time. Like, could Dignitas have killed him with the Ignite and with just like full commitment to it?
Yeah, Surdy is flashless. They get the stun from Isles. I mean,
Isles is trying to give the kill and doesn't use
he's trying to give the kill. Yep. And Sniper goes through with one more dash. That is definitely a misplay there from Dignitas.
Yeah.
Wanting to give the kill. Because Surdy was already down in this situation, and they ended up getting it to Tomo, but a big cost there for Surdy.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to give it to Tomo, but, you know, he's in the Gwen is immune, right? Like, you couldn't actually hit him. And as a result, you don't use the Ignite, you try to give it over, costs you a kill. That one definitely hurts. You have got to be careful about those situations, but Ayla going to be able to land a hook here onto Surdy, and thankfully, the arrow does not connect to pop those Blight stacks, so we'll be able to walk it out. But the wave's still in a horrible spot for him, and is going to be a tough game for the Renekton, who's already put very far behind.
Yeah, and this is all too common for Surdy this split. And this year, early on, he was set behind from lane swaps, but even here, it's a 4-minute lane swap where they're trying to hand over the kill that contributes to him being further behind, and now he's just kind of stuck under his turret on weak side as the Dragon is getting taken down. Also, now that Grubs aren't spawning until 8 minutes, there's not a counterplay for Shaden to take either, so 100 Thieves is actually having their cake and eating it too.
Yeah, they're feeling really, really good about it. I mean, that 3-camp gank that Shaden went for on the top side did kind of put him behind. He went for a base then, cleared his bottom camps, but you could see, you know, River cleared as many camps or even more still at this point, and then goes to the Dragon, so had a lot more tempo. Sniper just trying to defend this wave on top side, though. That is a couple waves stacked up. He's got to be able to collect this. He's not level 6, but he almost is there. They are bringing up Shaden, though, looking for the dive.
He's at full health, which gives him a little bit more outplay potential. Still hasn't taken damage. He hit 6, though.
Yeah, this is so hard to dive, but Isles is going to position for it. They're going to look for it. There's a Shattering Strike in the crash down. Can they actually finish him off? No shot. Sniper just holds the cooldowns, kites back, knew that the dive could be coming, so held on to that W. Didn't even have to use the ulti. Is going to be able to soak some of this experience, but I guess they're just calling for the swap. I feel like this swap is a little bit preemptive because you're still losing so many of these minions.
Are
Like, he has
you?
an experience range.
Okay, I'm gonna go blank
I'm
on
a bit
the screen,
surprised.
but you
know,
can hear me.
that's like minus at
Nobody
least 7
hears.
minions
Cool.
that he could have picked up. Probably no problem there.
He's going to want to catch the wave on the bot side, which is crashing anyway. So he's going to pick up. He's basically making sure the minions don't go to complete waste. I'm generally okay with it, but I see the top laner in you saying, why don't I just collect this wave, teleport bot, collect another wave? Because ultimately, if he gets 25 CS at Renekton, that's going to pay off way more later in the game.
Exactly. Like, you outscale the Renekton. It's not like you're giving it to some, some trash scaling
like
champion.
a top lane Nidalee.
Exactly. You're giving it to a Gwen who got a solo kill and who's already running the lane. So to me, donating all that gold, like, even if you had to use your ultimate there to collect that triple wave that was pushing in, I still feel like that's worth it. Then you base, you TP down. Yeah, you're maybe denying 6 minions from FBI, but you're getting all the experience, you're getting all the gold, and you're accelerating yourself to a point where potentially the Renekton is just going to be a non-factor in the side lane for the rest of the game.
I agree, but even just the snippet that we saw as we go back to the Gwen receiving nerfs and still getting picked, Gwen is still immune, right? Like, the things that he's able to do with the Ignite early on, pressuring Renekton in an early laning phase, as we're going to see a dive now onto Surdy, try to put him further down.
Yeah, Surdy pre-pops the ultimate, but there's the hook from Ayla. They have it set up, and Ayla is just tanking this up. There's no way out, it feels like, for Surdy. Lives as long as he can, but the Aftershock Nautilus can tank that tower for a long time.
For sure, and Tale of Two Ganks right there, right? That was a Renekton with ultimate, a 3-man dive, perfect CC chain. Renekton can't do really anything about it unless he's able to somehow flash the first CC. And Sniper now, let's see if they can dive him this time.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Sniper in some trouble now, trying to outplay this with the ulti. Isles is tanking it up. Shaden's in trouble, but they will make it happen. 4 members come down. Katie was not needed, but they're looking for a potential redive here now onto Surdy. River was tanking this up. They've got to reset this tower and try to go for it one more time. Ayla is going to be the one to start it up now with the depth charge. There it is. The stun to follow gets burst down. Not a chance to survive. Ezreal cannot connect on the other side of the map. They do pull off the dive for Dig, but it costs them even more because no one's answering mid, and Quinn has just been full shoving that wave.
Yeah, this is a bit of a disaster for Dignitas. They get the one successful dive on Sniper, which definitely helps, but the double death onto Surdy, and then, to me here, Kaney on the Ahri, roaming down to be that 4th man in a gank that worked with 3, rather than roaming up to make the redive impossible. Big error. Because Renekton is completely out of the game now. 36 CS at 10 minutes, Azael?
Yeah, it's definitely really tough. And I mean, even if you want to take the more risk-averse play, he could have just stayed mid and farmed. Like, he didn't actually have any impact on that bot lane play. And it ends up being Quid now with the full row. He pushed in mid, denied a full wave, took a plate. So 100 Thieves making the better play happen with less resources. And yeah, that is the same level as the supports. He just hit 7 now, but Surdy is in. I mean, you were like a flash stun this game and not much more unless you can randomly clean up a bunch of kills in a team fight. Surdy is completely out of this one.
It's a roughie. Sniper at the level advantage, Quid a bigger level advantage. Both mid laners going Roa, so I mean, I'm just thinking, Surdy's going to be behind jungler level for a lot of this game. He won't be able to touch side lanes. Gwen is going to be still able to annihilate him, even though Sniper has died to that last dive, because Surdy ended up having the double death in the top lane. We're going to have to move on to other topics, because Surdy is a sad tale at this point in the game.
It is. It is a very sad tale. But positive side of that is FBI has been getting paid. Tomo in a pretty good spot, so you definitely have some hope there. The rest of the members on Dignitas honestly are in a fine spot. So bright side of it is if Surdy can kind of just hold at his tower and clear waves against the Gwen, then the 4v4 still looks completely fine for Dig. So we'll see if they can make something happen there. Dragon's going to be spawning here in about 15 seconds, and both teams are around this side of the map. You can see the resets are coming down, and they're going to send Surdy down towards Dragon because Kaney has TP, so he'll walk top, which means they are potentially thinking about fighting this.
It's going to be tricky. They do not have vision control in the river. You can see 2 control wards set up by 100 Thieves. Isles moving in to stop 1, but Ayla and River just patrolling that area. Can't even finish that control ward kill.
That was the Chains of Corruption used there by FBI for really not much at all. A tiny bit of poke there onto Isles. But they are trying to maintain this vision, and we'll see if they can land some more poke onto Dignitas as they walk through. Dig trying to play through mid. Obviously not going to have any prio bot with Surdy down there, but if this 3-man squad can make something happen, you never know.
Might be able to. Isles has Flash Engage. If he's able to get onto Ayla, it would be a nice combo. They can kind of bully him out and get control. So I don't mind the jostling that Dignitas is doing right now, but Talia is in river. They might go for a fight.
Oh, looks for the hook. Can't actually find it. Defensive crash down there from Isles as Shaden's able to immune that hook. And FBI getting quite low in mana, but they do get some good poke down.
Yeah, I mean, very slippery 3-man unit that Dig have in the mid lane there, with everyone being able to just fly away, especially that damn Neferi untargetable W every time Ayla tries to go for a hook. So they hold their own there, and actually because they are able to attrition down a lot of FBI's mana, Ayla goes back for more wards, and Dig actually gets what they wanted, which is a little bit of river control, and they start the Drake.
Yeah, Blue Orb is going to spot it, though, so 100 Thieves have the opportunity to contest. They are walking in. Quinn now here does spot the health on the Dragon. It's quite low, though. I think they're going to be able to finish it, but the question is, can they win the fight afterwards? River's there, not quite in time. There's the stun on Shaden. Shaden going to get hooked, and there's the depth charge going on Tomo. Tomo doesn't get over the wall, and now he's rooted. He does cleanse. He has no flash. He didn't shift over the wall, so he's in a bad spot now. In comes River, but it's actually FBI that finishes off the kill. They look like they want even more. River now shifting over the wall, showing Tomo how to do it. Surdy and Isles are going to get pinned down here. It's 4 members. Here they come.
Wave coming in. Isles and Surdy. Surdy, no ult. Flash a couple seconds away.
Yeah, they're going to start it up. Ayla lands the hook there. He's tanking the tower. They're going to try to turn it around. Nice crash down. The ultimates come through. Surdy is in trouble. So is Isles, but the tower's getting a lot of work done. Ooh. River is going to fall. That's 2 kills for Dignitas. And is Quinn going to be able to finally finish off Surdy here? He doesn't have the right angle. Sniper wants to try to make it happen. They do finally finish it off. It's a 2 for 2, though. Well defended by Isles and Surdy. The Ezreal ultimate can't quite finish off another, but Shaden's coming back in. Can't get in range. 100 Thieves will back off.
So it was actually a good defense of the dive, but as we bring the tab up, I'll show you the sad part of the story. It's that both kills went to Rel. Renekton got nothing out of that entire exchange. Watching this, it's nice that Dig could get the Drake, but because they burned so many of their cooldowns bursting the Dragon, they had nothing left for this fight. Teleports come in on the side, don't really end up impacting anything until the dive. And as you mentioned, when Ezreal doesn't shift over the wall, it just ensures that he's going to die. Here, I thought Surdy did a nice job delaying the minions, healing up a bit with a big Q. And the fact that Rel was able to tank so much damage and had so much CC allowed them to retaliate very well. But it's just unlucky that both of these kills end up going over to Isles. It was about a 494 gold kill, that second one, that Renekton really could have used. Yeah. But it ends up going over to Isles' round.
You can see the sigh even there on Surdy as he goes down.
You know, those games where you're never getting kills, but you feel like you're involved. He didn't even get an assist on one of those. He's 0-4-1.
Yeah, that is really tough. Well played, though, by Isles. Did have a really well-timed Shattering Strike, on Ayla. Right as he pulled aggro, and then got the 3-man crash down Magnustorm. Locks him in the tower. Was able to set them up for a pretty good spot. And does have that nice injection of gold over on his side. We'll see if they can do anything with that. Both teams now looking like they're happy to scrap here around this Herald. 100 Thieves again playing for Vision. Shaden just trying to defend their Vision line as much as he can. And Ayla has been eating some poke, so is down to about 2/3 HP.
Yeah, this could be another fight if Dig try to contest it. Surdy, they're probably trying to pull him up for this fight. He really just wants to clear that wave and get that turret to me, but here's a fight.
They're going to go for it. Isles is going to be able to get over the wall. That's a Chains of Corruption used on Isles for not too much. Kaney comes in. It is going to be stolen by Shaden, but can they actually get in to grab this? Kaney looks like he wants to try to force it, but he's going to have to use the ultimate to retreat back. River low, Sniper looking. Can he actually finish him off? Kaney going to have to flash out. Shaden now jumps over the wall, and it's going to be Surdy in the meanwhile pushing down on the bot side, so they only commit 4. They do deny the Herald, and they're going to get a tier 1 bot. So this is great for Dig.
Absolutely awesome sequence. Surdy's the biggest fan of this, actually getting a little bit back in the game, because Sniper was grouped that entire time, so Sniper was not getting any gold. And for as disastrous this game has been, to only be down 473 gold as they're Renekton against the Gwen, same level, massive win there. 100 Thieves not being able to secure that Rift Herald hurts them pretty substantially, but more so investing so much on Kaney at the top side of that fight, as he can just dash around and flash away with the lockdown, as we said, being pretty much just the Varus and the Nautilus. Dignitas maneuvered around that exchange really, really well.
I mean, FBI is in a great spot this game, but that's back-to-back Chains of Corruptions that he spent on the Rel for pretty much 0, right? The one prior to the Dragon fight, he threw out, maybe did 10% of his damage, 10% of his HP after it. Again, they committed it onto Isles in this fight as well, and he kind of just crashed down over the wall. Didn't really take any damage, so definitely have to make sure that they are in a position to be able to follow up, and maybe he needs to be just following up on the engage from Ayla to kind of guarantee that they get more from that, because if you hit that on a key member, they are just dead And Isles has been able to deal with it really well.
Yeah, and Azale, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. We talked about this in waiting room. 100 Thieves have big things happen around 20 minutes. There's this thing of them throwing at 20 minutes, but the other thing that you pointed out in one of our meetings was that they're actually very good against the lower half of the standings and have struggled against the higher half of the standings. Part of this, to me, my theory is that they're just so good in team fights. They're hands-checking a lot of these teams, and Dignitas is going to have to overcome that if they want to win. This is a massive discrepancy.
It is. It's crazy. And it's like you said, we were talking about it in the meeting. It's something that I've noticed where it is one of these things. You want to be a title contender? Well, you got to be this tall to ride. And 100 Thieves are the line. You have got to be able to take down 100 Thieves if you want to be able to have a chance to kind of strike up in the standings. Because like you say, they will test you. They will fight you at every single turn. And they have very good hands. They're good mechanically. So if you're not good enough, they're going to really expose your deficiencies in those team fights.
Yeah, and I would say 100 Thieves have good setup for this Drake right now. So even if the fight happens, the setup before the hands check is actually very advantageous for them.
Absolutely. Shaden again on the side. Kaney does arrive with the teleport. Are they going to be able to force it? It looks like the Dragon's already gone, so 100 Thieves can just back off. Nice true shot barrage. The charm connects on FBI. FBI's in a lot of trouble. Tomo going to be targeted as well, but Shaden in the back line trying to take down FBI. He's going to be able to do it. Shaden's got to run now on the other side. It's Ayla, Sniper, and River. Very low. The health bar for Shaden is just low enough, but he can't quite get taken down. Surdy is going to be able to help the rest of his team get another kill. Now finally they take down Shaden. It's River on the side running. Tomo's full health. Isles and Surdy going to have to call off the chase. At the end of the day, it's just a couple kills going the way of Dignitas. It's a 2-for-1, but 100 Thieves do get the Dragon.
Well, what ended up happening is the structure of 100 Thieves fell apart as FBI took a bunch of damage at the start of that fight, so they never got to set up any type of big fight line. I want to watch this one more time. The original setup is good, but that's only if Ayla or FBI are the ones starting the fight. When the fight actually starts, FBI ended up being in the front. An Ezreal W, an Ezreal Ult, and an Ahri Charm all land onto FBI, completely taking him out of the fight. And everyone kind of just ends up diving past 100 Thieves. So a spectacular start to this fight. It doesn't really matter to me that Shaden fell during this, because from a deficit, being able to win that fight is huge. Hopefully you're able to hear that as Tomo and FBI are back in the mid lane, and the game is kind of reset. Also, if we want to throw that...
This is different. This ain't that strange. This is what we doing. We watching the rest of this. I just need a break for 1 second to watch this. Sorry.
It's Bravo Rama at Car Bravo, our biggest event of the year, going on right now. You'll get great deals.
Like bird, like magic bird. Like bird, bro. Threw a 4 on the Sprite to get wavy. I slept like a white baby. Lately I've been writing crazy. Just maybe they thought I might have got lazy. I'm sick, not even God can save me. Naughty concoction made by Dr. Save me. It's Rock Marcy, baby, hide your lady. Shout out to maybe shit got hotter than Haiti. Little shopper gave him around 80. Sprayed the Mercedes. My guys blasphemy. Before I had money like Bad Bunny. Buddy. My son a rider, not a crash dummy. But no cap, but love you crash out for me. That goes without saying. I will go on your mouth without down payment from Al Heyman. I'm amazing. Haters go out their way to downplay it. It's flagrant. You know the name of the game is relationships. Ain't no way a lame could relate to this. Our caretakers was free basing in the crib. The first bitch I hit some young lady that used to babysit. Ops can't infiltrate the clique like it's Operation Paperclip. It don't cost a lot of paper to get you clipped. This ain't no clickbait. They thought maybe we came to fish. Shit, so much fish, 80 brisket, it made the table flip. Moss, whip game tight, whip white like bird. Pass bird like magic bird. 33 like bird. Whip white like bird. 33 like bird, wrist did magic with the bird.
Labels keep asking me to be patient. My mind's aligned, my heart's fine, my wrist need a vacation. Like Nell Carter, it need a break. I'm almost certain for 7 years it been fractured and need a brace. Y'all can't fuck with me, man. I'm talking decades of endless twists. Chef, I front you a bird after Thanksgiving under one condition. Gotta be Muslim, can't be Christian. Cause a Christian will do anything to see their kids smile at Christmas.
You are now listening to Converse.
See Lil Ricky jumping for joy. He'll turn his back on his boy and run off with that bundle of joy. Dope dealers turn to script writers. You cannot sit by us. I played Maryland like Lynn Byers. Little nigga, I've been flying. I've been nice since Iceberg made history. Taking bus trips like Richard Pryor in Sicily. Now these people know my name way out in Sicily. White girl in the front row yelling, God, come christen me. I knew this shit'd happen eventually, yeah. And if you too young for busting loose, I was chopping up a deuce when Arnold was scared of goose. Yeah, I got Latin quarter picks, you need some proof. Never drank, only thing kept falling was the roof. Let me give y'all time to digest. I ain't attracted to skinny, I like them corn-fed. If she ain't thick, she get shot down like cornbread. Mom Fred, let's get one thing clear. Bad boy, I whip a bird like Bill Lambert. God.
Yeah, check it. Me and Marcy like Magic and Kareem, lighting purple, dripping gold out in LA with the team. Feel like we playing in Boston, all is white and it's green.